The Devil State of Mind podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. What's something you'd love to learn? As an adult, do you make time to learn new things as often as you like, or was that lost in childhood? Kids are always learning and growing, but as adults, sometimes we lose that curiosity. What's something you like to learn? Gardening, a new language, or maybe how to finally beat your best friend in bowling? Therapy can help you reconnect with your sense of wonder because your back to school era can come at any stage. And I've benefited so much from therapy. It has been nothing short of just a lifesaver for me, just an opportunity to speak freely and to really just, hash out everything that's going on in my world. And it really, really is amazing. And if you're thinking of starting therapy, I would highly recommend to give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. All you have to do is rediscover your curiosity with BetterHelp and visit betterhelp.com/THPN today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/THPN. And what is going on, Devils fans? It is, as always, your host, your best friend, your confidant, your number one source, Neil Villapiano, and welcome to another exciting edition of the Devil's State of Mind podcast, right here on the Hockey Podcast Network, as well as SportsWire Radio, the best place to get everything you need to know about your New Jersey Devils and Devils fans. We are almost a week away from the Global Series in Prague, Czechia. Devils hockey officially, where the games really count, is just right around the corner. And I can't tell you guys how excited I am for this season to get underway. And I'm excited for this episode that I have in store for you guys. We have a very special guest joining us on this edition of the Devil's State of Mind podcast. But before we bring him on, just want to quickly shout out all of our lovely sponsors down below. SeatGeek, use promo code Devil's State of Mind. Get $20 off your first purchase of $50 or more. DraftKings, use code THPN when you sign up. You bet $5, you get $200 instantly in risk-free bets. And of course, BetterHelp. And when you sign up with using our promo code THPN, you get 10% off your first month of therapy. So shout out as always to our lovely sponsors. And as always, thank you guys for taking time out of your day to check these episodes out. You already know that I greatly appreciate it. Shout out to the boys at Checking From Behind that were on in our last episode previewing the Devils' upcoming season. Make sure to go check them out if you have not already. Also, I posted a very quick breaking news video last week talking about the Dawson Mercer contract as well. So in case you missed it, I'll also post a link in the description as well in the top right corner of your screen, you'll see it. So, Devils fans, you guys have probably seen this. It happened, a couple weeks ago, more or less, I would say actually a couple months ago. And this really, really caught the hockey world. I mean, it was showcased on a bunch of major platforms like BR Open Ice. I think Barstool Sports even shared it as well. And it was this really, really awesome. Let me show you guys really quickly. This absolutely awesome Devil's Pizza with the pepperoni in shape of the Devils logo. This was unbelievable the first time that I saw it. And you know what's funny? I had a friend of mine that first told me about this who lives a little closer to where this pizzeria is located, but it is in the same county that I'm from as well. And it's not that far from me. So I definitely have to make a trip out there when I get the chance. But I want to bring on the man that is responsible for this because it is absolutely awesome. And so it is with great pleasure that we welcome on the owner of Amici's Pizzeria, Mr. Anthony Fabry. Anthony, welcome to the Devil's
What's
State of
up?
Mind podcast. How are you doing today, my friend?
Neil, I'm great. I'm great. But I do have to say one thing though, just to start off. The logo is not made out of pepperoni, it's made out of sauce.
Oh, it's
So
sauce. Okay,
yeah,
gotcha,
so
gotcha.
we did it right before, or it was the opening night last year of
Okay,
2023. And I actually had my friend who's a graphic designer come out and I was like, listen, I want to put like a picture up on Instagram. Can you come over and just like we'll put sauce in a bottle and just have you draw it on the pizza. And he's like, yeah, sure. And that initially that's all it was. And then a friend of mine who works for the company Slice, Anthony Pizzi, or he works for Slice, he helped us put our menu on the Slice app, and he put that on there. And then people started ordering it, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna have to figure out how to do this. So we ended up, I ended up buying like one of those plastic flimsy cutting boards
okay.
and just drawing the logo on there. And then with scissors one night, I'm just sitting there cutting away with it. And like the person's like on their way to pick up this pizza. And I was like, I'm not a graphic designer. I'm not an artist. I don't think I'm going to be able to handle this. Like with like the sauce bottle, like I had him do. But now we have like a stencil that we've made to put it on. We lay it on the pizza and then we lay the sauce on.
Yeah. That is fantastic. And it's funny, you've kind of, answered one of the questions that I had. I was going to bring this up a little bit later, but now it's all good. So again, if you're here on YouTube, you could check it out. It's called the Jersey Devil. It's literally what you think it is. It's amazing. Also, shout out to the Fried Squid on Twitter. A good friend of
Oh
mine,
my gosh. Thank
who's
you
right
to
there.
her.
Yeah, she's awesome. Big time Devils fan. One of the many big time Devils fans over on Twitter or X or whatever you call it. I don't call it X. I refuse to.
It's still Twitter to me.
It's still Twitter to me as well. So, but yeah, no. Again, for me, I found out about it through a friend of mine who lives in Rumson, New Jersey, here in Monmouth County. I'm from Little Silver, born and raised, so not terribly far from
No,
where I'm
you're not far at all.
located. Not far at all. And my friend was like, "Yo, you got to check this out." So I go over to his house, and he opens up the pizza box, and I'm like, "What in God's green earth is this? How? Like, where did this come from?" Because I'm like, who did this? And he explained to me about Amici's. And then I remember my good friend Daniel Moya of Devils Report, also covering the Devils for the hockey writers. He made a post with you guys, a collab post about it as well. So it really started to take traction.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
it's
at
all
one point, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. At
no,
one
go
point,
ahead.
I remember looking at it, and just seeing there was like 500,000 like views on it on Twitter, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, I cannot believe this many people are seeing this. And then my one of my favorite parts is like sometimes like if I get a bad review, I do take it personally, right?
Mhm.
But seeing like the angry Ranger fans commenting on it, I was like, I'm not even mad. Like to me, it's just funny at this point. But
Yes.
it's like you haven't had the pizza, you haven't tried my pizza. You're not reviewing it based. You're just reviewing it based on a picture because you don't like the Devils. That's fine. Whatever. Keep talking about it. That's
Yeah.
fine.
You know what? In New York, in New York, they have a million pizza spots. I'm sure somebody in New York could come up with something like that. But,
Yeah.
this is a really unique Jersey thing. And only in Jersey, I feel that you could truly, come up with something like this and really make it work. And I want to say, Anthony, like you guys do a fantastic job. Just in general with the menu, I mean, they have so many different options for things other than just the Jersey Devils. So if you're in the area, I highly recommend you go check out this place. It is absolutely awesome. I will make sure that I think I'm going to try this weekend if I can to stop over there really quick. It's in Atlantic Highlands, to be exact. Um, what would be a good like kind of like I guess point for viewers and listeners to where maybe
um,
make it easier for them to find you guys?
if you have kids, we're in the same plaza as Jungle Jim and Jane, which is like
Okay.
an indoor amusement park. Shout out to those guys. Love those guys. It there used to be we used to say, oh, it's right next to the Family Dollar, but then the Family Dollar closed. Um, but East Point Health and Fitness, it's a big gym. They're
Hmm.
right there. We're in the same plaza with them, and there's a bagel nook opening up right now too. So that's going to drive some traffic our way as well.
Oh
But yeah,
yeah.
it's on 36. Up at like basically it's like the top of the hill before you start going down towards Highlands and
Hmm.
Seabright, and then
Yep.
it's also like at the top. It's Mount Mitchell.
Not
actually.
Mitchell.
Is right
Gotcha.
behind us. Right behind
Okay.
us. So we're right there.
Got you. So that's the sticking point for a lot of Devils fans. It's right by there. And Bagel Nook, fun fact for anybody that doesn't know, they make those very well known. They're based in Freehold, New Jersey, and they make those very well known pumpkin bagels. I think is what
I just saw that,
they're known
yeah.
for. Yeah, they're posting it. If you haven't checked that out, I would recommend you guys go check that out because it's really quite a creative thing for sure.
We're eagerly waiting for them to open up so we can just
Yeah.
go and just
Who knows? Maybe you guys could work out a deal. Maybe you do a devil's bagel. That could be a
that'd
kind
be
of a
great.
cool. I think
Like
that
a
would be
devil's pizza bagel style thing, yeah.
exactly. So, Anthony, I want to kind of start by asking you about the journey of opening Amici's and where it's and how far it's come up until this point for my listeners and viewers, especially Devils fans who are not from the area of Monmouth County or certainly not even from New Jersey.
Hmm. Yeah, so my family, we owned a pizzeria for like 30 years. And you said you're from Little Silver, so how
Correct.
long you're born and raised? So
Born and raised.
you're familiar with Umberto's in Fairhaven?
Of course.
That was my family's pizzeria.
Oh, yes. Yes. I'm
So
very
yeah,
aware
my
of Umberto's. Been there many
yeah,
times. Went there many times.
a lot of people remember my dad. They're like, "Oh, hang loose," and I'm like, "Yeah, that's him." But yeah, we right before COVID, we had a little bit of a transition where the landlords kind of wanted a little bit more money, and we
Mm,
weren't really comfortable. So we still had a couple of years left on a lease, so we're like, let's sell it, and while we can still sell it instead of just closing and walk away with nothing. So we sold it. Great guys. We sold it to Jack's Goal Line Stand
yep.
in Long Branch. I worked for them for 5 years before my father passed away, and I went to help out at the pizzeria. And then yeah, we sold it and closed right before COVID. And I was bouncing around. I was a real estate agent for a minute. I worked at Target for a minute. And then I ended up working at a pizzeria in Long Branch called Scala's.
Hmm.
And I loved it. And I was like, man, I didn't think I wanted to. When we closed the Birdos, I said, I'm never making pizza again. I was like, I'm done. This is never
Fair
happening
enough.
again. And then, yeah, like a year later, I was back at it again. And then a friend of mine was like, hey, there's a place in Atlantic Highlands for a really good price. It's for sale. I think you should take a look at it. And my wife and I, we drove over there. We took a look at it, and I was like, yeah, I think this is our time. Let's do it. So we
Oh,
pulled the
wow.
trigger on it, and that was in 2021.
Awesome.
So yeah, we're about 3 years in now.
And that's fantastic. And someone who's grown up in a very old school, Italian household, we have a brick oven in our house. So
Nice.
I completely, understand and love these type of stories, especially small businesses. And, as you and I both know, the Devils do a great job of shouting out small businesses. Um, Anthony was on one of the Jersey Shop segments that the Devils did. I think that was last year. I think you were involved in that, if I'm not mistaken, in one of that
Yeah,
segment.
it was. I want to say it was like the summer of 2023 that they
Right,
came out and they filmed with us and they released the video with in partner with Citizens Bank, which
right.
we were so when we first before we opened the pizzeria, my wife was like, "What bank should we use?" And I was like, "Investors Bank." And she's like, "Why?" I was like, "Because Investors Bank's with the Devils." And then Citizens bought Investors.
There you
But
go.
and they were like, I think I saw it on Instagram where they were like, join the Jersey Shops program by the New
Good.
Jersey Devils. And I was like, yeah, let me check it out. So we applied for it and we got it. And it kind of just took off.
Yeah,
It was a wild, because there's a bunch of different shops that are on there.
yeah.
And there's only a handful of them. They did like an interview with us and they were like, hey, we want to see. They didn't tell us what they were interviewing us for. They just wanted to talk to us. And then at the end, they're like, okay, so this was basically a trial run. We're going to come do a video for you. And I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, yes, please. And who are you bringing? They're like, nobody. And I was like, oh, all right.
Yeah, you were hoping they'd bring like Marty Brodeur or somebody
Like,
with them.
yeah, anybody, get Patty Eliash, off the couch and have him come hang out, my
Right,
favorite player of
exactly.
all time right there,
There you go.
so,
I love that.
but, it was cool. And then they, all the Jersey shops, we got to go to a game and they put us in a box, which was really cool. And they raffled off a jersey and yeah, we won, of course, but then they never brought us the jersey. So
What? That's crazy.
hold on. Devils always make it right, though. Devils make it
Okay.
right. So they were just going to give me a generic jersey. And I emailed them. I was like, hey, I'm sorry. We missed the situation where the jersey. She's like, no problem. What do you want? And I said, Jack Hughes reverse retro. And she's like, I don't know if I can do that. And I was like, all right, no worries, whatever you can send, just send. And then in the mail, bam, Jack Hughes reverse retro with the strap on the back, like the
Oh
tie
yeah,
down, like a
authentic.
legit, not even like a replica, like an
Right.
authentic jersey. I was like, oh my gosh.
Love that.
So yeah, that's so cool. I don't even, I have that one. That one's hanging at the pizzeria.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
yeah, well, I don't touch that one anymore.
Oh, I understand that. That's great. That's awesome. And yeah, no, the Jersey Shops program is great. They're still doing it now. Devils continue to be very big in that. And I think what's great, Anthony, is that, the Devils definitely do a lot of focus on the North Jersey areas. And I get that because that's where a lot of good majority of the fan base is. I think we lost Anthony for a second there. And I think what's great is the fact that when you look at it from this perspective, just to getting, somebody who owns a business that's nearby, I think is really, really important. We'll bring Anthony on back in just a second, but this is really great, honestly, the way that it is. There he is. We bring him back.
Sorry about that. Of course, I got a
Oh no,
phone
you're
call.
good.
I guess I should
You're
be putting
good.
my phone into in airplane mode.
It's all good. It's all good. But yeah, I was saying before, Anthony, it's great that we get a little bit more love down here in Monmouth County. The Devils, for 2 of the last 3 years, had their draft party. They had one in Asbury Park. This past year, they had it at here in at Fort Monmouth. Which, fun fact, Baseline Social is owned by my cousin, so that was kind of a really cool experience for me. But it's great. It's honestly great. And when I saw this pizza and I realized that it was in Atlantic Highlands, I'm like, how have I not found out about this? I don't know how in the world I did not know about this sooner. And it's honestly, and I still have not yet ordered it myself, but I definitely will because I wanna see this in person for myself because I think this is really, really cool. Um, my next question to you, Anthony, is this: what is the most interesting thing about pizza making in general that maybe people don't know?
Most interesting. It's a lot harder and a lot easier than you would think it would be.
Hmm.
Um, by that, like people, I've had employees like watch me make pizzas for like months, and they're like, can I make one? And I'm like, you sure? They're like, oh, I mean, I've been watching you do it. I think I can handle it. And then they always, it just, they just can't.
Right.
But after like, like maybe like 10 times of me like going over it with them, which is like 10 times is not a lot. 10 times is like, that's like how many pizzas I make in a half hour. Like, but like we do like 10 times, like we'll go it over 10 times. And then by the 11th time, they're like, oh, my hands are doing what they're supposed to be doing. And I'm like,
Right.
yeah, that's it. It's
I love
all
that.
muscle memory. It's really all it
For
is.
sure. For
But
sure. That's cool. I like
yeah,
that.
it's also very strange too. Like my wife has a hard time with it all the time, and I'm like, you just got to keep going. Just keep doing it, and you'll get it. It's just you
Yeah.
keep doing it. I didn't learn overnight, Even when my father passed away and I went to go work at his pizzeria to help my mom and my uncle, I it took me like a good couple weeks to like really be able to like fire off pizzas on a Friday night,
Yeah. Of
which is
course.
like not something to be taken lightly. Friday night pizza night, get overwhelmed pretty quick.
Oh, big time, big time, big time. And no, and that's really interesting because I think a lot of people look at it and they may think that it's easy, and it takes practice to get really good at it for sure. And I commend you for the great job that you and all of them do. I see that Amici's does a lot of different partnerships. They also have worked with FC Monmouth, which is the local professional
Yes.
soccer team, semi-professional soccer team that's located in Red Bank, New Jersey, FC Monmouth. So, good friend of mine is the owner or the founder of the Supporters Club, the 732 that
Oh man, they
supports
did.
them.
I was trying to get a scarf off of those guys this year. I love
No,
that seven three
I
two
I mean
logo, man.
I'm one of the guys who started it. I can get you one, no problem. I
Yes,
can
get
get
me
you
a
one.
scarf. I've been dying
Yeah,
for a
I
scarf.
know the guy
I
personally. I got you, no problem. Um, so my next question, kind of focusing, is I think we lost Anthony again, unfortunately. Oh no, there we go. He's still there. He's still there.
I
We
don't
got
know, man.
him. This is how it goes. Technology never works when you really need it the most. But my next question to you, Anthony, is this: talk to me. and the folks, listening and watching here on YouTube, as well, he will answer this question once he comes back. But yeah, no, it's really interesting to just kind of get the perspective of a lot, of just local businesses, putting their own flair, not just the devil's flair, but certainly like a Jersey flair, because I think that that's really, really important. Because it really kind of shows the uniqueness and everything like that, and I think that that's really, really important, which is great. But while we're waiting on Anthony, we are going to step aside for one moment to get a word from our sponsors. And we are back once again with Anthony here, as having a little bit of technical difficulties, but it's all good. It's all good. He's looking sharp right now with his. I think that's a Nico black jersey, which I also own, which I love.
It is. It is.
Love
You would
that.
think I'm
But,
like in my 70s with the way I can't handle like I'm in airplane mode now. So I'm not getting the phone. Do you know what it is? The other day I got a text message from my old insurance company saying, "Hey, time to renew up or whatever."
mhm.
So I thought it was just a normal thing. Boy, was I wrong. I have gotten like and I'm not kidding, 500 calls over the last 4 days
Wow.
from insurance companies, and they're sneaky too, because like the
Oh yeah.
first, it'll be like you can't block them because it's like 732-385, and then the last four digits are all different numbers. So every time I block them, they just call back from a different last
Of a
four
different
digits,
one.
and I'm like, you kidding me? So that's what's happening, and I
Mm.
apologize, but
All
yeah,
good.
I'm in airplane mode right now. So if anybody tries to reach me,
There you go.
sorry,
Well,
sorry.
again, it's all good. It's all good. It happens. It happens to all of us. I get a lot of spam calls as well from different things, so don't worry about it. My next question to you, Anthony, is simply talk to us about how you became a New Jersey Devils fan.
Okay, so 1994, Rangers win the cup. I was like, I'm a Ranger fan because everybody else around me was. And then 95, my best friend in first grade, his name was Bobby. He was like, "Yeah, the Rangers suck," and I was like, "You're right, they kind of do." I didn't know what I was talking about, but I went over to his house a couple times. We like had like play dates or whatever, first grade, and some of the nights where the Devils were on, and Devils bang, Devils win the cup. And I
There
was like,
you
I'm
go.
a Devils fan. That's it. I'm a Devils fan. And then couple, there's catching a couple games here and there, but then third grade I went to my first game with a
Mm,
friend, and that was it. I was locked in, at
okay.
the Continental Airlines Arena.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
they
Or
they
the
were giving
Izod
out.
Center for younger people, or the Izod Center, whatever you want to call it.
It's like X and Twitter, man. It's always the Continental
Yeah.
Airlines Arena to
Or
me.
the Brendan Byrne Arena if you're from an older generation. So,
That's true. That's
there you
before
go.
my time though. But
Yeah.
yeah, I remember. I'll never forget. That was when I got my first piece of Devils memorabilia. I
Okay.
had it was a T-shirt that they gave out.
Hmm.
It was like 3/4 sleeve. It was supposed to be like a jersey, and on the front was the Devils logo. On the back was number 4 at the time,
Okay.
our captain. And then there was no name on it associated with the Devils. It just said Models, and it was all night was our gotta go to Mo's, gotta go to
The old
Models.
Modell's jingle. Yep.
So that was yeah. So that was it. I was hooked, and and then at our old pizzeria, we had a couple of employees that were Devils fans, and I remember I got in some trouble at school, and one of the guys, he was like, "Listen, if you get honor roll next market period, I'll take you to a Devils game." And shout out Dave Cox if he's listening. Love him to death. He got us the cheapest possible tickets that he can get.
Love it.
We walked in. He goes to the security guard or the usher, and he's like, "Hey, do you mind if we go down and just watch the practice?" And they're like, "Yeah, no problem." We went down, sat down in these seats, never moved. We were up against the glass. So
That's
we were supposed to
great.
be up top. We sat all the way up against the glass, and I got to watch Scott Niedermeyer plaster his brother Rob Niedermeyer right up against me, like on the glass. It was the
That's
coolest thing. It was they're playing against the Panthers. It was so cool.
That is awesome. That is, I love, see, this is why I love having these sections where I call it voice of the fans, because I love to hear the different stories about how people became a fan of the team, their favorite memories, and having a memory like that, I'm sure sticks with you the most. Would it,
Forever.
would that be your favorite memory as a Devils fan, or is there another one that sticks out to you?
I did go to game 1 against the Dallas Stars when
Wow.
I think they won like 7-4 or something.
Yeah, yeah,
That was pretty. But no, I do think that me and Dave taking me to that game because like it had a lot. It was a lot riding on it, man. I had to get honor roll, you know.
right.
And the whole thing was like I wasn't getting good grades, and it was like no, you get honor roll, we're going, and we went, and like that's where like I learned little tricks there. Hey, you mind if we go down and watch the practice? And then nobody shows up for their seats. They're yours now.
There you go. You gotta learn to be sneaky sometimes. You
Yeah,
gotta learn the tricks of the trade, of
I
course.
think probably also the first game I took my son to.
That's
He was I think 2.5 at the time,
okay.
and we went to the game where they hung Brodor's jersey.
What a
Um,
memory.
yeah,
What a memory.
I took my wife, my cousin, and my son. And my wife, look, I love her, but she's grew up in a Ranger household,
Mm,
so we do, you know.
yeah,
But we went there, and then it was funny because my son just ended up before the first period was passed out sleeping in her arms the entire
that's fair. I
time.
mean,
But
honestly, I can understand that. Yeah, I can
yeah, I
understand.
think he was way too young to be there. But it was like we didn't pay a
Of
ticket for
course,
him. They were just like, yeah, he sits on your lap. But
of course.
that's probably one of that one's up there.
I love that. And speaking of jersey retirement, earlier today it was announced that the Devils will be inducting their third honoree into their Ring of Honor before their game against the Boston Bruins on January 22nd of 2025. So try to figure out who it is. So far, Sergei Brylin was inducted last year, so it'll be really interesting to see who ends up getting inducted. Anthony, you want to place a want to place
Well, who was the first one inducted? Because I remember
it was
Breland.
Dr. John McMullen,
Okay,
the person who brought the Devils to New Jersey in the 80s.
so I would like to see if I had to venture a guess. I would like to see Peter Sikora or Jason Arnott.
Interesting. I'm gonna go with Lou Lamoriello. I know he's still
Oh,
working
you
for
think
the
Lou?
Islanders, but I think it's Lou. I mean, they're not playing the Islanders, although that would make more sense. But
Yeah,
I'm thinking like maybe Lou Lamoriello. I don't know. It's really interesting because I'm
I
trying to.
wish Lou would just come home, man. I really would.
Well, I'm kind of okay with him not coming home personally. He's kind of. I think Tom Fitzgerald is doing just fine without the. Um,
I do. I've
all the
been there.
presence.
There was a couple things I think that I may have like turned my head a little bit, and I was like, did he just do that? But we have to trust the process, I think,
Of
and
course.
I think we're making a lot of right moves right now.
Yeah.
So I'm great to see. I don't worry about preseason. 0-3 on preseason. I don't. No, I don't.
The
I'm also
Devils. Oh, you're a Giants fan
I'm
too?
a Giants fan too, man. Like
You watch, are
the
you
last
gonna
two.
watch? Are you gonna watch tonight?
Yeah, I have to. I
We're
got Devin.
recording this, by the way. We're recording this on Thursday, September 26th, and it's currently about 7 o'clock. The Giants, I think, kick off against the Cowboys in an hour. I think it
Yeah, like
is,
8:20, I think it is.
and I
But
really, really
I
wish
have
I had something
Singletary
better to
playing.
do.
Yeah, I have Singletary playing, but
Uh,
I got kind of hosed on my fantasy team this year, but I still
I'm
got
0
net
3 in
watch.
mine. If it makes you feel better,
Yeah, me too.
I'm 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 not doing well. I do better in fantasy hockey, which I should mention to
Oh,
everybody. There might
bless
be
you.
a Devil's State of Mind fantasy hockey league for the first time this year. So make sure you stay tuned for that because I might have one coming up in the next 2 or 3 days. So stay tuned for that. But Anthony, you were kind of talking about it a little bit. Give me your impressions about this New Jersey Devils team going into this season with such high expectations. You bring in Sheldon Keefe, you bring in Jacob Markstrom, you get more veteran guys. You bring back a guy like Stefan Nason, you bring back Thomas Tatar.
Mm.
Brett Pesci and Brendan Dillon are into the mix now. Some of the guys, we got our top guys back for the most part, other than Luke Hughes, but he'll be back, in the next couple of weeks. But give me your overall thoughts going into
That
2020.
Luke Hughes thing did that story break just because somebody posted it on Instagram and it was a sling and they decided to say something about it because it was
Well, they
almost
had
like
to. Well, at some
it was
point they
like
were
they
going
posted it.
to.
I know, but it was like it was funny because I was like I saw the thing on Instagram and then I was like and then like hours later it was like yeah he's hurt. I was like oh all right so you guys weren't gonna say anything until somebody said something.
I don't condone bullying, but sometimes bullying a team into giving us news works. Sometimes it works. So, like, that's where it goes. So, shout out to Barstool Sports for posting that YouTube video that we got to see Luke Hughes in a sling that made us all question what happened to Luke Hughes.
Yeah.
So, that's the way I look at it. But yeah, Anthony, give me your, overall thoughts about this Devils team going into this season.
So for me, I like our speed. Our speed is great. You got skaters like Jesper Bratman. I don't think anybody skates like him right now. Even Jack Hughes, dude, like just so much pace and just like the things that he does with the puck. I think what the Devils need right now is somebody to back those guys up. Because if they get pushed around, you notice like the second it usually happens like maybe like a third of the way into the season where they like a team will be like, oh, all we gotta do is just beat them up a little bit. And I
Right.
think we need some players to start pushing back. I was
Mhm.
very disappointed when we lost Ryan Graves because I thought
Mm.
he was a good strong defender who was going to go out there. He's pushing back, and
Right.
I want to see more of that. We need some guys that are going to be, we need like a big 220 pounder, like nice 265 something like that. Just gonna like just we were that team in the 90s where Scott Niedermayer, Scott Stevens, Ken Danico, like that's the Devils. And that's what we need to get back. We need these big, hard nosed guys that are just going to run over people.
For sure. And I think you look at some of the moves that Tom Fitzgerald made in the offseason. You bring back McDermott, you bring back Stefan Nason, Brendan Dillon comes into the fold. Even Jonathan Kovacevic, 6'8", well over 200 pounds.
Yeah, it's big,
Granted, he's
dude.
not going to be in the top six, but big body defenseman. I think honestly the Devils are just I said it before that they're much more of a playoff built team, a team that is built to withstand those physical type of games. And there's going to be challenges throughout the season. And I think it's going to be about how does this team respond? Are they going to, turtle like they have in the past, or are they going to actually stand up for themselves and, push back? Because I think the pushback is what really Devils fans want to see. And I think, and I was at the first preseason game last Sunday, and it was physical right from the jump. I love seeing guys like Paul Cotter, another new addition, throwing his body around. Brendan Dillon was throwing his body around. They were trying to make a statement even in a preseason game that
Hmm.
we're not going to be pushed around. And I think that
Yeah.
that's what Tom Fitzgerald wants. He wants a fast team, but he wants a physical team as well.
Yeah. And I think we're like 1 or 2 years and like one or two puzzle pieces away from being like a threat for years to come, not just like
Mhm.
one or two. I'm talking like the Penguins were in the early 2000s, like
Mm,
when Sid got there. Like I could see the Devils going on like a run of like 6 or 7 years of like just being at the top.
yeah.
So I could feel it. Like we're just like one or two puzzle pieces away from getting there, and then that's it. With guys like Luke and Jack Hughes, and with the possibility of the future of like maybe getting that third brother, maybe getting Quinn over there, and like, but can you? I could only just imagine what the Rock would be like if all three of them were there together in the same jersey.
That would be pretty remarkable. That would be pretty remarkable if that ever happens. And, we'll see. We'll see. Things can change on a dime in the NHL.
Oh
People's
yeah.
feelings can change. You never know what could happen at any given moment. But I think overall, it's fair to say that there is a lot of excitement going into the season. And again, Devils fans, by the time you guys are checking this episode, we are a week away from the Global Series. And I can't tell you how ecstatic I am that I get to see the Devils on a 1 o'clock on a Friday play hockey. I cannot tell you how excited, or better yet, the following day, a Saturday at 10 a.m. I
It's
feel
just
like I'm watching.
it's a fun time for sports right now. I think
Oh, yeah.
it's just
Unless
such
you're
a
the
cool
Giants, then it's
time.
no fun.
Well,
It's just
we're
not
gonna, we
fun.
gotta get that Tommy Cutlets getting in there
Yeah,
somewhere.
exactly. Anthony, you got to bring Tommy Cutlets down for a set for
Don't I? Yeah, don't I? I gotta get past his manager first, right?
Oh yeah, his agent, yeah, who I actually had the pleasure of meeting. Fun fact, I met him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, really nice guy. He's really cool. He's very short. I noticed that when I met him. I was like, wow, not as tall as I thought he was. Maybe TV just makes everybody look
You gain,
taller.
yeah. There's a lot, yeah.
It's
What does it say? You put on 10 pounds or something like that. That's why
yeah, something like
I got
that.
like 15 cameras on me right now.
That's what happened when I met Dougie Hamilton. I was like, wow, you're a lot taller. I mean, the camera doesn't do you justice.
Oh man, he is a monster.
He's huge. And then you put him on skates, he's even bigger. He's a
Yeah,
big
you get an
dude.
extra like 4 inches. It's nuts. It's
Oh
crazy. I
yeah.
remember
And
when I met Danico at a that's my another thing I didn't even mention. I met Danico at a bank opening. All right. So you're a little silver in Shrewsbury. Remember when we had that big commerce bank that was there, but now it's a
yeah,
TD.
the big yep.
So when they opened that, he was there signing.
Oh, nice.
And so me and my cousin, we went there, and they like somebody came up and pulled us out of the line, and we're like, "Do you want to take a picture with him?" I thought I was like, "What are we doing here?" That's what we're doing. And they were like, "No, do you want to take a picture with him for the newspaper?" And I forgot. I think it was like the Atlanticville or something. I forget what it was called.
Okay.
But but yeah, they took a picture of us, and I have that at the pizzeria too. But it's funny because like I vividly remember smiling at one point, and whoever like the newspaper editor was like, "Oh, we're gonna play a joke on these guys," because they're smiling, and me and my cousin are like, "We're not ready yet." We're just like, but I remember there's a picture of us smiling somewhere. But
Yeah.
they put that one in the newspaper to make us look like a bunch of knuckleheads.
That's a great story. That's really funny. And yeah, no, Mr. Devil Ken Danico is a great guy, and he's continuing to do a really good job on the broadcasts. And he's fantastic, and that's a great story, Anthony. I absolutely love that story. But this has been great. I've really enjoyed getting to know you, getting to know the Amici's a little bit, and your fandom with the Devils, and I really appreciate your time. But before I let you go and
Mm.
force you to watch the Giants game tonight, because I'm going to have to do the same thing in 45 minutes. I like to roll out the red carpet and let you tell the folks at home where they can, check you out, check out the pizzeria and anything else you got going on. So the floor is yours, my friend.
Yeah, we're 2387 Route 36 in Atlantic Highlands, Amici Pizzeria. Um, yeah, we're on 36. We're just kind of we're ready for the season to start. To be honest, I kind of want to pump out a lot more of these NJ Devil pizzas. And
Absolutely.
it's fun fact. So we do it as an 18-inch pizza, which is usually $18 because we do $1 an inch because it's not 1995 anymore, unfortunately. But uh, the price of that pizza, because it does have extra sauce, is 1982. If
That is
Yep.
amazing. I love that.
So
I
yeah,
absolutely love that. That is
1982 for that. And that's the final price. That's the price. There's no like, oh, tax on top of that delivery charge. No, it's 19. You get that 1982.
love
That's
that.
all it is.
Love that.
And then
And I will. Mhm.
go ahead. Oh no, go
Yeah,
ahead.
I was going to say, I'm going to leave a link to their website as well in the description of the video. And I will also share it on all my social medias as well when I tag Amici's especially on Instagram. But Anthony,
I th-
again, thank you so much for taking time out of your evening to do this. I know it took us a while to get us both in
it
a place
was
where we could do this.
yeah, it's fine. Like, listen, I got 4 kids, man. It's a lot going on,
Yeah.
and they're at that age where they're all doing stuff.
Oh,
So I got
100%.
yeah, and it's like it's soccer, it's cheerleading, it's
Yeah.
dance, so yeah, no, and then you have your own schedule. So yeah, no, it's sometimes you can't if my thing is usually like if somebody plans something with me, we're gonna cancel like 3 times before we figure out exactly
Right. Of
when it's gonna
course.
happen.
Of course. But
But
again,
I'd be remiss though if I didn't show this to the viewers because
sure.
all
This is
right.
on YouTube, by the way. So unfortunately, if you're
for
not on YouTube,
anybody for anybody who thinks that I'm just like a fake Devils fan and just trying to make money on a pizza, listen, I have had this
wow.
for a very long time.
Wow. Look at
That
that.
that's my baby.
That's
Um,
amazing.
yeah, that so I put
I
that
love
on, and
that.
that thing has been through it.
Oh, yeah.
We've been through some stuff together, me and this tattoo. So, um,
That was great. That was great. I really appreciate you showing us that at the end. I love the fandom from you, Anthony. I love what you guys do over at Amici's. Continue to do amazing work. And listen, if you ever need any help from me in anything, I'm a drive away. I'm right here. You let me know, and I will be more than happy to help you, my friend.
Dude, you just got to come down and grab a slice, man. It's on me. Come
Oh,
down,
okay.
grab a devil's pie. It's on me. All right.
All right. Maybe this. I think I got some time this weekend, so I think I'll drive up and see and check it out.
All right, brother.
All right. Thank you so much, Anthony. We appreciate it, man.
Oh, man, thank you.
NFL Week 1 is here, and a new season means new ways to get in on the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Ready to place your bet? Try betting on something simple like picking a player to score a touchdown. Or if you just want to pick who wins and who loses, you can absolutely do that as well. And you can score big with DraftKings Sportsbook, the best place to bet touchdowns. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code THPN. That's code THPN for new customers to get $250 in bonus bets when you bet just $5 and get 1 month of NFL Plus Premium on us. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY to 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for gambling problem. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 plus age eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in New Hampshire, Oregon, and Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gambling resources, see dkng.com/football. NFL Plus Premium offer available only to new and former NFL Plus subscribers. Additional NFL Plus Premium terms at nfl.com/terms.